Welcome to the training video for equipment and attributes, part of the series of training videos for the Intuit Field Service Management ES application. We'll start here on the Settings tab. First, we're going to want to define the different types of equipment that we want to track in our customer locations. We click on Model Your Business, and then Equipment Types. Now we see a list of the different equipment types that have been defined in our system. Each equipment type we define has its own set of services that we perform against that type of equipment. Here we see AC compressor, and we'll click on Set Services to see the different services that we've defined that we perform against an AC compressor. Let's go back and define a new equipment type. To add our type, we click on the Add New Equipment Type link. We'll add the equipment type heat pump. Just type in your display as name and click Add. And then it's available in the list. Now we'll have to create our services for heat pump. Click Set Services. And as you can see, we already have Other, which is a service that comes with every new equipment type. To create a checklist, we click the Add a New Service checklist link. If you do not have the Service Agreements module, the link will simply say Add a Service, and leave off the checklist portion. We'll explain checklist shortly. Let's give our service a name, a default priority between emergency, urgent, or non-urgent, a duration that we expect the work to take, and if we're using skills, the required skill to do the work. Then click Add. We'll add a couple of other services also. Now we've added the services HVAC tune-up, no cooling, and no heat to the equipment type heat pump. Now we'll take a brief moment to talk about checklists. Here in the description column, we'll use the HVAC tune-up service to demonstrate creating a checklist. I'll click Add, and here is where I'm going to place my checklist that will be used in service agreements against this equipment type. I'm going to copy the predefined checklist information I have in this notepad file and paste it into my description field and click OK. Notice that my value now says yes, and I've created a checklist that is available to me when I'm creating service agreements against this equipment type. Now let's go down to the bottom of the page to turn on the attributes we're going to use to track this equipment type. To turn on an attribute, simply click the Change link in the Track column to change the value from No to Yes. We'll track condition, installation date, manufacturer, model, and serial number. Let's say we want to create a new attribute, such as filter size. Up here in the Model Your Business section, we click on Attributes and add that attribute to the master list. It will then become available for all of our equipment types. Click Add a New Attribute. Then we'll name our attribute. Select if it's historical. We'll select No. Historical attributes generally refer to values that can change over time. We'll change the required value to No also, and we'll leave the data type as string so we can type both letters and numbers. Then click Add. Filter size is now in our attribute list. So now let's go back to equipment types. Heat pump. Click our Set Services link, and now we'll turn on filter size also. Notice the attribute condition has a yes value in the Keep History column. In our list, condition is the only attribute whose value may change over time, and as you'll see a little later, we can see that history at any time. Now we're ready to add a piece of equipment to a customer location. We'll use the Find feature to search for our customer. We'll search for Joe's Building. As you can see here, there's no equipment currently associated with this customer. I can add equipment by clicking Add here, or the Add Equipment button here. Since Joe's Building has multiple sites, I'll need to select a site, where the equipment is going to be placed, and then the type of equipment. Since the name is also required, I'll need to enter a name. And I can fill out the other attribute values if known, or come back and do them later since I haven't required that they be filled out. And then click OK. Now you can see the main building HP1 heat pump is added to the customer Joe's Building. Now let's demonstrate our historical attribute condition. Clicking on our equipment name, I'm going to enter a value. And then click OK. Now every time I come back into this piece of equipment, I can click the H link to the right of the attribute field and see a running history of the value along with the timestamp that value was edited. Now let's see where our equipment comes into play during work order creation. I'm going to click the New Service Ticket button against the customer Joe's Building, and then select a site that the work will be done at. I'm going to select the site we selected when we added our equipment, and then go Next. Notice that in addition to the categories and services that are defined in my service package, I also have my piece of equipment named Main Building Heat Pump 1 and its associated services that I can create this work order against. This will quickly allow you to create a service ticket that gives your technician all of the information they need, streamlining the process, helping everything look more professional, and also preparing an invoice for the customer containing the information that they'd like to see, including equipment information. This concludes our training video on equipment and attributes in field service management.